Hello and welcome to WhatKeepsYouAwake.tv. With the support of our sponsor, MBPS, it's time again to dive into the hustles, the hurdles, and the highs that keep small business leaders up at night. I'm your host, David Hooser, and delighted to welcome today's guest, Jennifer Whittingham. Jen,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You made it down? I got some sleep last night, so I'm doing good today.
Good. Well, thank you for having me.
Jen is the founder of Whittingham Creations, now nearly 20 years old. It was started out of the necessity for building a home-based business with the pending arrival or birth of her first child.
Correct.
So, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And let's get started with our foundational questions. So tell me, as a creator extraordinaire, what keeps you awake late at night?
Different things at different times.
Okay. As we said earlier, it started with the crying of that newborn, and now it's the crying of your customers, maybe?
Yeah. I think it's more of figuring out how to expand, or do you stay small?
Okay.
So for a long time, I've worked with contractors and brought them in. And at some point, I thought, okay, how do we make this bigger? How do we bring in employees that we have all the time and manage that with the business coming in? And do I want to really go that route? Because that will take me more into the business realm of it versus the creative realm of it. The
creative side of it, yeah.
And will I enjoy that? So I think those are the things I think about right now is, do I keep it the way it is, or do I expand it and go into that next phase?
So don't ruffle feathers, don't break the apple cart.
Yeah.
Okay. But, and I mean, you still have resource activities with third party. You're managing independent contractors. That can be more tedious than knowing that you have paid employees on your staff and they're there for you to do the work you delegate to them. So, But now, are you still home-based?
I'm still home-based,
Okay.
yes. The company is still home-based.
All right.
Everybody is remote, which works out fine for us. But that is one of the other things that we're considering is, should we at some point get an office front or not? Right now, we've been fine without it. And it's another expense to add on. So
it's an expense, but you would argue that there's some efficiencies gained by having the team together, working together on the same projects, or complementing each other on the individual projects they work on. Yeah. So and we just went through that, the COVID pandemic era. A lot of companies had no choice. We were all dispersed throughout our, and some efficiencies were lost. I mean, it's and some other, desirable side effects like socialization. We became a little bit neurotic because, we were by ourselves all day long. So yeah, that was interesting. Now it's changing. The building we're in here, I call Channel 12 building. My good friend bought it about a year plus ago. Got a great price on it because no one was coming to these big buildings downtown. Yes. But now all of a sudden you're starting to see it fill back up. So I know maybe not all of a sudden, a couple of years later. Yeah. But yeah, so there are efficiencies that you gain. That you pay for because the price of the rent to set up your office. Or you could, after 20 years and lots of customers, you might buy your own building. So
there you go.
That's it. So let's talk about 20 years ago. What was life? Where were you?
20 years ago, I was in the Bay Area.
Okay.
I was
South Bay, North Bay,
I was
East Bay.
On the peninsula. So in Mountain View.
In Mountain View, okay, sure.
And I worked in San Jose, which was one of my first jobs working in the .com era.
Oh, okay.
So I worked for a startup over there. you walk into buildings, there were ping pong machines and
Yeah,
pool
that's right.
tables
That's
and
pool.
yeah. And it was a very entrepreneurial spirit at the
Right.
time. You could imagine something and then build it. There were really no rules
Right.
around anything. And so what we did is it was the start of the internet. So we basically bought all the holiday domains.
Okay.
And so we owned Santa.com, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. And we created all kinds of activities, greeting cards, animated greeting cards,
Things
or
that
GIFs
would
at the time.
Get
traffic going
and
to.
then, as they say, make it sticky.
Yes, exactly.
And then shoot advertisements or some
That's
product
exactly
sales.
what we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we started then shooting some advertisements in there, and then we started building out, basically at the time, because this was in 1996, I want to say.
Okay.
We started building out like the first e-commerce site, which was really more of a catalog. So you could go on, you could choose the things,
Okay.
put it in a cart, and then you would call and give them your credit card number and pay for it, and they would ship it out. So that was the very first job I had out there. And then I became pregnant with my daughter. And I was
Who's the age of your company?
Who's the age of my company? Exactly. She was born in 2000, so she's a couple of years younger.
Okay.
And she was born, and I had a lot of friends saying, hey, this bank needs some help with their website. This person wants some help with their marketing. And I would do that on the side. So when she was born, I actually said, okay, I don't want the nanny seeing her first steps. I want to see her first steps so I can work from home, take care of her. And then in between her naps and when she's sleeping, I can do my work.
Right.
And so that's basically what I did. And I took on those clients and built up the business just all through word of mouth, not a single thing of advertising, just because I didn't know how much time I would have and didn't want too much work, wanted the right balance at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went from the corporate world, you did a bit of a side hustle time, then finally,
full-time
threw away the safety net and just went on your own.
Yeah.
And you haven't looked back.
Well, I've had it this long.
Okay.
I built up the clientele. I had a very large client, probably my largest client. They were based out of LA. They were an influencer platform.
Okay.
And so they hired me to come on and be their director of UX or oversee their UX and design of the website and the app. And I went and did that for about a year and a half with them.
So you kept your business going, probably did a few clients, kept a few clients happy, but you were focused mostly on their business.
Yeah, we did we kept everybody happy. We had their business as well as multiple others that we were managing. But they really wanted someone full-time on their project versus just here's another piece we need you to add to it. They wanted me to come on and
to
solely
be strategic as well as.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I thought about it and I thought, well, gosh, I go on vacations and I'm in the ocean and I get a call and a site's gone down or something and I'm running back up to the room or someone calls me in the middle of the night and I have to get up and fix it. And I thought, well, if I go work for them, I can close the laptop at 5.
That's right.
I can go on vacation without any emergency bothering me. And I thought, well, it's an opportunity to do. So that's when I said, okay, I'm going to just keep the clients I currently have. I'm not taking any more new clients. We'll maintain their things for them and I'll go work for this other company. And so that's what I did. And then it's what I continued to do for a very long time until just recently.
Oh, okay.
In the last, I want to say 3 years, the work I was doing, as you climb the ladder in certain companies, it gets more and more demanding of your time and everything else. And I just wasn't having the time.
Quality of life that you wanted.
Yeah. And so I said, okay, we're just going to pass these clients off to someone else so they can take better care of them. And I'm just going to solely focus on this. And so I did that for the last 3 years, which was great. But I think I really missed having my own business, doing my own thing, making my own time, having that freedom,
Right.
and a lot of the corporate tape, and getting
Right.
around that. So I've recently just contemplated, do I go for the next role
Okay.
or do I restart up my business? And I think my passion is in my business.
Okay.
And so that's where I am right
So
now.
the business never went away. It just kind of was, again, more on the side
Yes.
and still.
Still there.
So now the question is, do you pull together a team? Question is how, direct or indirect?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And kind of switching the model a little bit, I think now, instead of just being, instead of doing the whole end-to-end experience, because over time, things have changed so much. In the beginning, when I first started my business, I could do everything. I could do
Sure.
their marketing. I could do their website design. I could build
Gotcha.
out their website and do all
Right.
of that. Over time, I think that everything's become more complicated.
It
and,
has. Right.
there's more things to learn and
More
everything else.
platforms that somehow need to
come together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had just split it out to where UX design, which is really strategy, solving a problem, and then actually building out the design and a prototype to hand over to development to build. And then we would normally build it. Now I'm not going to do the development of it anymore.
Okay.
I will hand that over to somebody else and let them work on that piece. We'll interact,
Sure.
of course, because we have to, but I will hand off that responsibility now. And then the other thing that I've learned over time is I love mentoring as well now. And so starting up a consulting business with mentorship as well. So consulting for companies, mentoring career switchers or people that are coming into the field. And then what I found is their main problem is really getting that first role,
Right. Right.
And so if I have the business and we have small clients that we can help out,
I see.
then I can pair up those mentees that I've coached up until the end. So they'll get a certificate.
Right.
And then once they're there, I can give, they can work on that project with me overseeing it.
Right.
And that gets them their first job.
Builds their resume
builds their resume for them, and also gives the smaller business, a lower price that
Sure.
they may not be able to afford, like what we normally charge. So,
all right. So now let's talk about the core business services that you've done historically, and UI UX for websites and apps, I assume as well.
Websites, apps, software. So,
software.
We've built out software, pretty much anything digital or any kind of experience. So how I explain it is there's the digital experience and then there's the in-person experience, right? And you can have a great digital experience. So Airbnb, if you go to Airbnb, and you go online and you're like, oh, this house looks great. And you sign up for it and you go through the experience and it reserves it for you. And it's like, yep, just show up on this day. Well, that digital experience could have been great. And then you show up and the lady doesn't meet you or you can't get the key. And then the whole thing, the second half of that experience sucks.
Right. The VRBO commercial with the coach that says check-in's not until 3. And they go, it's 5 till 3. Exactly. It's not until 3. That's the other part of the experience.
Right, exactly. And so you could have an amazing digital experience and a really bad in-person experience. You're never going to come back again.
Right.
So our job is really to make sure that entire experience from end to end is enjoyable.
Interesting.
And then the success is that person comes back again, right? And does it again.
Right.
And so that's kind of what we do. We also work with, a lot of companies because a lot of times you will get in corporate or just a client or whoever comes in and they're like, I want to build this.
Right.
And we're like, okay, why? Why do you want to build it? What's your why behind it? What's your purpose behind it? What's your goal behind it?
Okay.
And we want to understand that because they might be building something that they think is going to be great. But when we actually go, because we'll go and do user research, we'll go talk to who's going to be their client
base, and
ask questions around, what are your major pain points in this area? What, do you find frustrating? What? Right. And they'll tell us, and then we'll say, okay, we'll put together that research brief of however many people we've interviewed to really get a good pulse on what the problems are. Take that back to that leader
entrepreneur,
or
idea holder.
Yep. And say, okay, this was your idea, but you missed it by about 10%.
Right.
This is really what your user...
Which would be good in most cases.
Yeah.
Just 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually it's like you got about 20% of what you really need. So let's talk. Because that's the 10%, 90% back when I was in corporate America with Motorola, actually, why I ended up coming here. Our drive was Six Sigma quality. Yep. And to go from 4 Sigma to 5 Sigma costs so much.
Yeah.
And to go from 5 to 5.1 cost probably twice as much going from 4 to 5. 5.2 cost another. By the time you try to get to 6 Sigma, can't afford to make the product. So you have to, so 90% is pretty darn good if you ask me.
Yeah.
For most ideas that I've come across, it's usually like, well, you got that about half right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you want to show them that because you don't want them to go build a product or build something that is a waste of money. Or what we always say is, if you do this research up front, you're getting closer and closer to your target.
Right.
And it may take a little longer, but it costs you $1 to do that, right? Once you start building it and doing that, and it's in that development phase, it costs you $10.
Right. To change everything.
And then if you do it at the end when it's already built, it's $100.
Right.
So you're really
good analogy,
making a big difference in the investment and making sure you're hitting the right target before you go build.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. In your peak, about how many clients, because I know you transitioned for a while, how many were you managing at once?
At Whittingham Creations, probably about 25.
Yeah, it's a pretty good size. And but you had an indirect team at that time.
I had an indirect team. So it was myself. I had a developer. Well, and it depended on how many projects we had. Okay. Normally a developer could take on 2. And then there was myself that would meet with the clients. And then I would bring in designers that would, report up to me. And I would meet with the client, sometimes with the designer and the developer, just depended on what stage it was. Okay. But we would talk, understand what that is. I would normally be the one going out doing the research and understanding what that problem was to take back to them.
Okay. Or how close their initial idea was to what a customer would actually want to experience. So,
yeah.
So how big was your team? So you about 10, 12 people at one, it sounds like.
It was. It would ebb and flow, based on the clients that were coming in. And the clients would, they weren't there for a lifetime.
Right.
Some of them would manage.
Project-based. Yeah. And they come back when they have a new project.
Yeah. And some would come back. So we would offer different packages. So either we would just, give them the plan and they could take the plan and do it wherever they wanted. Or we would do the entire experience for them from start to end.
Okay.
And then there was the maintenance package as well that you could add on. So then
monthly support.
Yep. We would support them and everything else. We had a training program as well. So if you wanted us to do it, but then you wanted to be able to update your products and do everything, yourself. So almost not a white glove service. I guess our maintenance package was really the white glove service. Right. We would actually sit down, train them how to use the management system, how to upload their
portals.
Yep, all of that. so that they could go in, and then, they would have so many hours where we could come in and assist them if they got stuck, or inevitably they would break something,
Right, which something gets broken. When they go in, whoops, how'd I do that? I do that as I walk through the podcast room. They get everything set up. I step or knock into a camera, something. So they get nervous every time I get out of this chair. So cool. And then did you do mostly domestic contractors, or did you work with overseas at all?
Mostly domestic contractors. I did work with a lot of overseas contractors when, I went into the corporate world.
Okay.
And even at that influencer platform company we worked, I was just being contracted out as basically a consultant in a way. And they had a lot of people that were in Mexico, Colombia, and other areas, and I've worked with people in India and in the Ukraine. So,
So I've done the same thing. I had my school was international. We had 25 markets, countries that we were operating in. So I got to learn directly and meet directly with a lot of companies that were providing, services to American companies and the efficiency. What do you think? How does your business change with the introduction of AI type tools and platforms? And
we're doing a lot with that right now. Yeah, we're looking a lot into it. Nowadays, I think what it's really doing right now, it's integrated into everything, it seems. We use Figma, which is a design tool, and that now has AI in it. We create design systems, which are basically, I explain them like they're Lego bricks. And you know how you get a box of Legos with a picture on it? That's like the website, right? This is your website, and here's your Lego bricks. Now go build it. So it's making sure like one Lego brick is a button. And so they're all staying consistent. And that's something you have to manage in itself. And now there's a lot of AI tools that will say, because here's your box of Lego bricks, and everybody's using them differently. And some people are breaking that 4-piece into a 2-piece, which they're not supposed to do. They're just supposed to use the 2-piece, right? And so what the AI will say is, okay, this many people are using it. Hey, there's some misuse of it over here. You may want to go check on it so that you can continue to keep everything.
Can monitor what's happening within your...
and keep everything clean and consistent. The other ways it's being used right now is you can actually prompt AI. It's very generic, but you can prompt AI to build a design and build a prototype that you can actually go and test without, it'll do it. It's very generic. It's like templatized. So, but it's it's efficient because it can do that for us. Then we can take that and then really tweak it, customize it, and make it into something. Same with the research. We can now send out a bunch of prompts. Instead of us going and looking for it, it pulls it together in seconds for us. And we can do that. We can also we'll do interviews, almost like a podcast in a way, where we ask questions to the users. It used to take us at least a week to take all of that information and then drill it into a report. And now you can really use AI to really help you pull all that together and put out a report that can make you work faster.
Which would be the plan
that goes into the product.
My experience with AI is sometimes I push it and I get some bad answers or I get incomplete answers. So as long as you keep that in mind and work around it and through those issues that
you got to keep an eye on it. Because it's not always 100% accurate. So.
And a lot of people, I know the same gentleman that bought this building, he is a former CIO and coder. And so he's always, every time I go in his office upstairs, he's got something being, code being written by
AI.
AI.
It's the code is supposed to be really good based on the AI. And what I have heard through our developers is that they are really using AI to do a lot of the like certain pieces of code
Right.
for them,
Right.
and which is really interesting.
You test it out, and if it works, then you can plug that in, and
Yep,
just keep
very
going.
similar to like our design systems, and we've been having a lot of conversation around that because it's really dependent on how clean that data is that AI has in order to give that right answer.
And how well you prompt it and
Correct.
build the uniqueness to the problem you're trying to solve. So you prepare it, prompt it. And as a matter of fact, that's what everyone's saying is now it's not about having a computer science degree. It's about having a English degree finally so that you can build the right prompts that ultimately give you the best output.
Yep. English, psychology,
Psychology, exactly.
Yeah, I think
interesting.
You're right.
So when are you going to make your decision on your go forward plan? Are you in development of
I am. I'm in development.
Pros and cons list?
I
using AI to.
I'm leaving AI out of it at the moment. It's all my brain. But I think, I am. I'm looking at it. I think I have a good plan. I think the thing you lose over time sometimes, and maybe because it changes, is your purpose and your plan, right? And so I took this summer off just to kind of refocus and say, okay, what is your love and your purpose of this? Because the last job, I kind of started to lose that. And I didn't like that feeling. And then it became just mundane. And I think what I thought about is my purpose is really like when I had my business, it was listening to that entrepreneur or whoever that's starting their business and helping them be successful in that, right? Giving them something that really projects them into the right direction. Right. And when I saw that happen, that just would light a fire. Like it would just spark. And I'm like, you did it, right? Or you helped them do that and jet them off
on the right journey.
Yeah. Same with mentoring people, right? They're career switchers. They want to go into that. Well, how can I help them get there? And then when you see them get their first job and, they're calling you back and they're like, Jen, I did it. Or calling me and saying, I just got a promotion. Those are the things that I don't know, for some reason, they just fuel me.
Yeah.
And so I really think that's why I think changing the trajectory of my business from just doing website. I think anybody can build a website. Anybody can, do the day to day. For me, it's now really about how do I help others, get to where they're going.
On the right steps out of the gate.
Yeah.
So, I had the same thing with my school. I had a lot of really incredible students that were doing phenomenal work. It was a secondary ed. But the ones that really made me, gave me the most fulfilling, sensation was the ones that struggled.
Yeah.
And made it.
Yeah.
And our system really helped them get through it. We had students that, blended learning really became the only way a lot of students could get through it. It's like, well, there's some things I want to do on my own. There's some things I don't have the skill set, and our platform migrated over the decade and a half that we were operating, and it was fun. Those students that were determined, were challenged in other traditional ways of learning. Finding a success path in our platform was the most
That's
rewarding.
Amazing. Yeah.
So
that is amazing. Yeah.
So would you change the name? Come up with? Are you looking at new names? And
that's actually, that's part of the plan. So right now I'm working on, what does this look like? Putting together the strategy behind it because it is shifting, right? It's not staying the same. It's not necessarily creations anymore.
Oh, it's creating.
Yeah.
It's creating
still creating
individuals.
Yeah. Or dreams or something, right? So.
Personal UI UX.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a channel called UX Diaries too, where I was thinking, I could just put my experiences in there because I started doing talks on user experience as
Okay.
well. And I used to think, well, who's going to want to listen to me? I mean, I'm just doing what everybody else is doing, but I'm doing it in my own way.
Right.
And there's things I've learned along my journey, the hard way and, the easy way. And someone said to me, they're like, Jen, there's always somebody just 2 steps behind you that could really use the advice that you just went through.
That you just provide.
So it doesn't matter, where you are in your journey. There's always somebody that you
Right.
can help that's right behind you.
Yeah.
And so I gave a talk on that and then realized, I could do that. So then I started up UX Diaries, which I really didn't have a whole lot of time
Good
to
name.
put into, but I'm almost thinking maybe that's the direction I
Mhm.
go, because it's the story I can tell, and then I can promote people on there and do things like that.
Well,
So
and there's
one option.
ways of doing group, mastermind group,
Yeah.
environments, things like that, which
Yeah.
are very popular these days. So,
Mhm.
all right. Well, we wish you all the luck in pulling everything together
Thank you.
for the new direction that you're taking. So,
Yeah.
how do people get a hold of you now? I mean, if some you've transitioned out of the LA
Yes.
company that you were supporting.
Yep.
Are you taking on clients today?
I will be taking on clients in the new year, so in
Okay.
2026.
It's about when this will come out. So,
Okay, perfect. They can get a hold of me right now. I would say you can email me at jen@whittinghamcreations.com.
We'll put that on the podcast. So.
Perfect. Thank you. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And then
And can they get there from the website? You have
they
a
can.
contact?
There is a form contact in there. And then shortly after that, I'll probably, put something up. Hopefully by then I'll have, my new
Everything
name
figured out.
and everything, and that will redirect over. So
Okay.
if
Very
you go there, that should take you.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today, and I appreciate you sharing your journey with our audience. And thanks everyone for joining us today to listen to our discussion. Remember to like or subscribe to whatkeepsyouawake.tv. If you haven't already, use your favorite podcast platform, and we'll see you on a future episode.